You guys ready?
What?
You gonna get these over?
Someone else climb up in through after.
I'll go with season 5. I'm going to find out how to watch season 6. They're done with it. I don't think you buy it yet.
Break on! Ah! Hit him again! Oh, yeah! Almost there, keep going! Two hands on the stick, let's go! Okay, here's the ball, sweat now, what? Head up! Swing the stick! Back up! Hit it!
Cargo pocket right here. Okay, wait. Don't do what Arcos did. Put your arm the other way. Don't do that.
Bear hug it.
1, 2, 3. Push up. Girl, squat down.
So, 1, 2, 3. You got it? Yeah. Go. Isaac! Recruit lever. Out left. Get down.
career in which he wasn't used to coming second. Opting out requires courage too. He's to join a company called W.H. Smith.
I came to the end of December and the Marines said to me that I wasn't good enough and I needed to improve a lot to get up to the grade that they required. So during January I gave 100%, got to the end of January, I finished an exercise and said, right, we still don't really think you're there. So sort of sat down and thought about it, rang up a lot of friends, spoke to my parents, and decided eventually that if I was going to be in a career, I wanted to do well at my career, because I'd done well at school in what I did and what I enjoyed, so change of direction was needed. So I went to see Lieutenant Darwell Stone at the time, and I took a week's leave, think about it, and at the end of the week I decided to leave the Marines, resign. But I think if I'd had a year off and gone around the world, looked after myself for a year, and lived away from home, I'd have been much better. I'd probably stood a much better chance and had no problems with the course. Physically, I wasn't too bad. I mean, because I was sort of fit anyway when I went in, and I got on okay with that. It was more actually the management side of it, and the fact that I was with people who were better than me, which I'd never been in a situation like that before. I'd previously been at school, I was sort of like the best at sport, and no problem whatsoever. And suddenly I'm in a situation where everybody's sort of fitter than me, and better mentally than me, and better grades at A-level, whatever, and sort of problems there.
Do you think, even though the 5.5 months has helped you in your new career?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I sort of grew from being a school kid to an adult in those 6 months, whatever it was. Definitely, yeah.
Some young men come before me and request to resign, and the Corps is very sad about it and wishes they would stay. In other cases, some young men come before me and request to resign, and I think there's a mutual understanding that that is probably a wise course of decision. And in a few cases, we ask a young man to leave because we don't believe that he would be suitable. And some of them join, having been through the Potential Officers course, the Admiralty Interview Board, and visits where they become more aware of what the Corps is about. But they join and they get into it, and they find that really this life is not for them. This military life is not for them. And that is totally understandable. And there are many people for whom the military life just does not suit.
There's good reason to pay close attention to these exercises in peaceful Devon lanes. 6 months from now, some will be doing it for real in Northern Ireland.
Right, and where have you just come from? Where do you live?
Where do I live? I live in Exeter.
Have you just driven from Exeter just now?
Yes, I know.
Right, gentlemen, if you could drive along just to where the man in the green jacket is standing, and pull the car to the side of the road and get out of the car. Where you've got some room to give another vehicle a chance to pass. In the left now, please. Now! Stop it! Engage! Yep. Keep quiet!
You've really got to have a good think, you know, if I shoot this bloke or if I attempt to shoot him.
It's like the world's biggest court of inquiry.
Stopping a vehicle if it doesn't want to stop. I mean, is it somebody who's just not going to stop for the sake of it, or is it two terrorists?
We spend a lot of our time here really teaching you the disciplined application of extreme violence, which is basically what we do. And it's strange then to come to a package like this, counter-revolutionary warfare, where we actually have to say to you, switch that off, because that's not the game. And in this case, more force was used, and there is absolutely no doubt that that situation would have ended up in a court of law, and the person responsible would undoubtedly have received some form of punishment in a civil court.
That incident, demanding instant decision, provokes them to consider their work ethic, killing people.
Given it a bit more thought, certainly, since I've been in training, but I think I'll have to do it, really, if as a troop commander one day, and it might be a decision that you regret afterwards, but responsibilities to the men and the job.
What I dread is after the situation, you know. I have actually taken somebody's life, you know, and you automatically think of whoever it may be, whether it be Soviets or whatever, you know, you think there's somebody's son, isn't it?
Most weekends are free, but for a very good reason they don't leap into sports cars and dash up to London for a night in Annabelle's.
You sleep for 6 or 7 hours like a log, and then you wake up tired again. You've got to go, you know what I mean? You wake up you know, rings around your eyes and everything. It's an effort to lift yourself off the bed and you get up and get going again. The blokes run down a bit, so their bodies are not working as they should do, so they're not repairing as well, and getting all pussy and everything, going septic.
Listen, with the webbing burns on your back, then they're just not healing up at all.
This chap over here, he's got hideous webbing burns. You want to see them? Come on, feel good burns.
What about the one behind my ear? It's got one burn spoiled my ear too much. Is your face more?
Get that bit of skin off and put it in your pie, you know? They obviously get worse than that. There are blokes who are much worse, but constant rubbing, you know? And it's just more or less a burn, that's all it is.
I've always found fishing quite relaxing. Certainly at the end of the week, you're ready for a break. It's good to get away from the regular crowd, to do something different. It seems a bit ironic, really, that we slog our guts out most of the time on Dartmoor, wade through bogs and ford streams and things, and then it's exactly what I come and do at the weekends as well, so... I still quite like Dartmoor. I think in many ways I'm pretty much unemployable as your average office-type worker, and I think many of the people in the batch are. And I find many of the lectures now very mundane and rather, some of them... Better watch what I'm saying here.
Do you ever think about what is going to happen very shortly? You could be joining a commando unit going to Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Yes, I do, actually. I think maybe a lot of people don't. But I think about it quite a lot.
Along what sort of lines?
Along the lines of just, you wonder how you'd cope in that situation, because nobody knows just what they're going to do the first time they really run into some trouble. Nobody knows what's going to happen, how they're going to cope, what their men are going to think of them after it, or maybe they'll get the sack, maybe they'll get shot, or Casevac, or whatever.
Slowly, the metamorphosis from civilian to soldier is taking place. How do their own friends regard them now?
Sometimes they treat you with a bit of awe, and sometimes a bit of suspicion, because you're in the forces, and sometimes because you're in an organisation which represents the Queen, the country, or whatever. They sometimes think, is he still okay, as it were? Joining for Queen and country.
To receive is your daily safety brief. Look down at the deck. That red line you see is the red firing line. In no time will any part of your body go on or beyond that line while firing is in progress. If you happen to drop your pen, handbook, or any other item, raise your hand and alert a coach and we'll get it for you. Now look at your feet. That yellow line you were standing on is the yellow-ready line. At no time will you back off that yellow-ready line without a condition for a weapon. When you hear the command, cease fire, cease fire. On the first letter or the first word cease, that is exactly what you will do. Do not attempt to squeeze off another round. Remember that all commands come from center line, and that is me. When moving from yard line to yard line, you will walk with your coach. If you need to make a head call, toss your weapon off to another recruit, coach, or drill instructor utilizing proper weapons exchange. There are no weapons allowed in the head. I say again, there are no weapons allowed in the head. When seated on the ready benches, your bust off will be on the meaty portion of your thigh with the muzzle elevated above your head at 12 o'clock at all times. Always follow the 4 safety rules, shooters. Now you will repeat the 4 safety rules just by saying them loud and motivated. 1, treat every weapon as a...